Hello and welcome to another Doctor System 1 video. Now, if I do sound somewhat different, it's because I have kind of a very dry and sore throat, so yeah, I'm kind of working through this, so, you know, no pain, no game sort of thing. Anyway, no, I hate that saying. Anyway, yeah, nonetheless, we've got issue 8 there. Now, a bit of a niggle and a personal annoyance. I thought this was issue, or the next issue to the last one that I got, David Tennant one, but that, if you're not aware, was issue 6, so yeah, I am missing issue 7, which is annoying. I assumed so because it has the Weeping Angels, even though the woman, it's a trap. Beth did say that it was issue 8, so it's kind of my fault. And yeah, she's been kind of having troubles getting in the ones, the Doctor Who ones at least. But yeah, I've always been kind of fascinated to know whether or not, just generally, if the Titan Comics, because by Titan Comics, the series is going well, you know, if they're selling loads of copies, you know, in all three ranges, you know, the 12th, 10th, and 11th Doctor series. So anyway, nonetheless, on the aesthetics, we have the Doctor Who sort of diamond-like logo thing, 10th Doctor still image of him there, yeah. Then you have Doctor Who, big logos kind of thing. Then you have the Doctor kind of looking at his Sonic, or touching his Sonic, but having like the light kind of compressed, so maybe he could, you know, have it shine, you know, amongst more things, so he could see the Weeping Angel out of the corner of his eye. And then you have the other sort of side. You have him kind of split into the middle, so sort of effect. It's a shame that it's not split straight down the middle, but it's kind of, it gives that sort of effect. And then you've kind of got his wild hair all over the place. It is cover A for issue 8 as well. It also tells you who it is by, but I can't really see that because I'm, you know, not got really small. What is it? Really bad eyes. Anyway, nonetheless, I read through the brief description of what happened previously, which is always nice. It's just a quick synopsis of the last issue. So, you know, essentially you could just start from this one, even though I do think that it'd be better to start on all the other things. It's got, you know, the Twitter thing, you know, their website, the Facebook page. They always tell you, you know, comment back with feedback and stuff, constructive feedback. Then you've got synopsis and all the characters, you know, the 10th Doctor, Gabby, and Jamie. Yeah, the artwork is still just as sequential and very, you know, this stands out, this sort of sequential, very dark, eerie, sort of ethereal, you know, dark, very gothic horror sort of picture of a, you know, Weeping Angel, and that, and I think they really work well in this media, because, you know, you can kind of like animation, you know, because animation is actually done with flipbooks, I should know because I'm doing a media course, or the traditional animation was done that sort of way, and basically why I'm saying that, if you really want to know, is because, say, you could have a Weeping Angel there, like this, and then move the arm, and then the face, you know, sort of thing, like, you know, like still images, and that, and like doing a flip book. Imagine if you could do the drawings as sort of eloquently done here with all the sort of effect, and then do it in a flip book. That'd just look immaculate and creepy, because the whole point of the Weeping Angels is that they move, you know, and if you blink, you know, they get you, and if they touch you, you know, they get you. I think Gabby is a really good sort of companion, you know, as well, the way that I've just kind of realised, the way that they also draw the backgrounds with sort of very dark colours makes it very atmospheric and dark, you know, and makes the bubbles where they talk very much more easier to obviously see for myself, and then obviously that effect of, you know, putting a matchstick there is very well used, you know, because, as I say, then the next scene is very dark, sort of gritty, dark, you know, very powerful sort of colour palette here. What I was going to say before about Gabby was was the fact that she's a very, gutsy, kind of forceful, very, confident, or I seem to, she seemed to portray very good confidence, so that's what I got from her. She's got, very tough sort of exterior. I feel like, she's like, oh, you know what, Weeping Angel, I've had, staring contests against my brother and stuff like that, and I think that's one of the must-haves for a companion, to kind of have a to have a sort of, gutsy sort of side to you, confidence, and kind of be very, confident, and that, because because what else would the Doctor see in you otherwise, well, you could see other things, but then you've got on the back the 10th Doctor, 11th Doctor and 12th Doctor issues, here, issue 5 of the 12th Doctors, issue 8 of the 11th and 10th one, and then it's also available on all these digital formats, which is always nice. On the back, you've got a little comic strip there, which is humorous, apparently. I don't ever read them. And then you've got this little Titan final thingy-mabob. Then it gives a brief description of issue 9, the alternative covers for issue 9, kind of like a quote, I think, from the next comic book, maybe, or something, some other stuff. Information about subscribing and maybe getting a free Titan figure, I think it is. What else? There was also a certain scene that I wanted to show, or panels. Here she's kind of, there's a romantic side to her, they're about to kiss and whatnot. And I think they get the likeness, the side character's very developed. I'd probably back that up more so if I'd obviously got issue 7 and that, so I can say that, but I can't really say, I don't have, a lot of evidence to back that up, but I thought from the beginning of this comic book issue to the end is rather developed. Nonetheless, the 10th Doctor does his normal 10th Doctor thing and just kind of interrupts Sed's, gooey moment. I think he's rather portrayed very nicely. There's a bit where he's very aggressive and kind of like, intense and stuff. But I think that makes sense, because I like to think that these comics, at least these comic issues, at least for the 10th Doctor, are based when the 10th Doctor has just done some of the special episodes, so in between maybe the next Doctor and Planet of the Dead, he has this journey or something, maybe, I don't know. I just like to think I'd put that there, because he, on screen he does have a lot of gaps in between said, adventures and whatnot. So, and I don't know if Titan Comics have gone officially on record to say, that is the case, but I like to think that anyway. He also goes very 10th Doctor-like, and, makes his own weird gizmo out of barely anything and whatnot. So, yeah, that's pretty cool. What else? I like Gabby. She's developed pretty well. I think she starts from issue 1 of the 10th Doctor onwards. So, and I've got 3 of his comics. I think I've got issue 4, issue 6, and issue 8, I think, from what I can remember. Yeah, they definitely get a darker side to the 10th Doctor. I was going to flip the next page, but then I realised that was the last page of the comic book, and I don't want to give away the ending. But yeah, the darkness of the Doctor, yeah, that's why I said about the specials, because I think, by that time he is very darker and aggressive, and he kind of gets really aggressive towards Gabby, which is kind of weird, because I like her character, and considering that just not a few moments ago she was, going toe-to-toe with a Weeping Angel in that situation, I'd be cracking myself. But yeah, I'd like to think that the Doctor would cut her some slack, but apparently not. He's very dark and aggressive towards her, which is a bit weird, especially with the 10th Doctor, because you don't regard that. When you think the 10th Doctor, you think more of a gooey, romantic, passionate kind of Doctor. and that, but I think, yeah, as I say, that's why I think that this is placed near the specials, because he's much more darker, more serious, more, on the ball, very intense kind of Doctor and whatnot. So, yeah, and I just love the environments and the way that they, that's all black and white and looks textured and stuff like that, and very, very good artwork from whomever does the artwork. I'm not sure who does the artwork, but yeah, very, very good artwork. Yeah, the Weeping Angels are very dark, menacing, and brooding kind of characters, and they never say anything in this, which makes them all the more scarier. I think as soon as the Weeping Angels were given a voice, I think that made them less scary, because that in turn made them, you could bargain with them, you could reason with them, you could understand them, you could communicate with them essentially. Whereas with something that's evil and doesn't have a voice, you don't understand it, you can't communicate with it, and you can't just access a sort of, understanding with it. And with a monster or a villain or a bad guy, that makes it all the more intense. I think that's why I like zombies, because you just can't communicate with zombies, much like you can't with Weeping Angels, and they're very dark, and there's a lot of depth to these comic books and the story, so I highly recommend these. I cannot recommend these enough. I mean, I'm a little bit annoyed that I didn't get issue 7, but nonetheless, it is a fun read. So, yeah. I'd probably give it a 9 out of 10 if I had to, 9 out of 10 if I had to give it a rating. So yeah, thanks for watching, comment, rate and subscribe.